If you collect Pokemon, you're always looking for the best deals, so here's 10 cards under $10 that I recommend taking a look at. These cards might be ones that you've overlooked every so often, but it's always worth going back and having another look again, because some of them have spiked in price and come right back down into something way more affordable and always have the possibility of going back up in price again. So let's have a look then. So these are the 10 cards under $10 that I was talking about. So the first one is the Miraidon from Scarlet and Violet promo cards. So it's one of the first promo cards in Scarlet and Violet, comes out of the Miraidon ETB from Scarlet and Violet base. And if we look at the year graph here, we can see that at the start of this year, October 2024, the year to date, sorry, it was barely over $1, and now it's risen by quite a lot. You can see the price spikes. It spiked when every other card spiked at the end of October, November, December, into February, and it became around about a $5 card. So even then, if you bought even 10 of them for $1, and then you're able to sell them all for $5, you made a nice little bit of profit. And then we were quite steady over the next 6 months, and looks like around this point, which could probably be September again, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe even August, it just shot up in price to nearer to $9, and now slowing down again once more. So it's worth looking at. You can still see as well that the amount of cards being bought is quite a lot. So it's definitely a card to keep looking at and keep your eyes on, because if it spiked like this once and twice, it's very likely that it's going to spike like this again. Now, I know it is not the Pokemon Center stamped version of this card, and it's probably a lot more common, but even if you get it and you get it graded, it's probably going to have a nice little price spike from the raw to a well graded card, either a 9 or a 10. Mainly a 10 these days, especially with modern cards. But for a while, or the next little while, this card could shoot up in price once more, because the promo center stamped card might become a lot more rare than this version. And then everybody will want it. So the next one we've got is the Miraidon from Scarlet and Violet promo cards also. So again, it comes from the same place. It comes from the Scarlet and Violet base ETB. This is not the Pokemon Center stamped one. If you are not sure what I mean when I'm talking about the Pokemon Center stamped Pokemon cards, it would be around about here. If you can see the cursor, it would be around about here on the card, and it would just say Pokemon Center. And that just means that it's a Pokemon Center exclusive promo card. In the regular ETBs, it is this card. It does not come with the Promo Center stamp. But again, this card, very much like the Miraidon, from the year to date in October, started around a $1 card. Obviously, the Scarlet and Violet base set came out well before this anyway, but we can see how much it rises just over time. It spikes to a ridiculous amount from $1 to $5. So again, it had that dip after February, and again it started going up in price in June, and by the looks of it, it is still going up, and that's a 335% rise over that period of time. So if it continues to go up, who knows, it could become a $10 card. And if you got a lot from when you first opened your ETBs, that could get your money back. The next card I want to look at is the Gardevoir EX. It's number 228 out of 198 from, again, the Scarlet and Violet base set. This one, it's a full art card, not a promo card like the others. So this one you will have to pull out of the Scarlet and Violet base set. It's had a different lifespan to the promo cards, which we have just looked at, rather than having major spikes up and down over the course of the year. From the year to date, it's very up and down. You can see it was probably $2.50 to $3 card, and it's gone up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's gone over the course of the year from $2.50 to around $4.50. This one doesn't seem to be very stable, but it might be worth a shout on having a go and just keeping it for a little while. Because if it's so volatile and it's still got a decent amount of volume selling, it's worth a shot. If it's selling, the card is always worth buying. And even here, it might just be a short-term hold, because it could be a $3 card and then it shoots up to a $4, $5 card within a short amount of time. You sell it then, and then it drops back down. We can even see, if we look at the average that it's going up by, it is steady growth, but it's just not showing it as steady growth. If you put a line of best fit from here all the way to here, it shows pretty steady growth. It's just very erratic in how it grows. I like full art cards. Full art cards seem to be very underrated. I think this card is something you may want to look at, and also some other full art cards that you might not have thought are worth the buy. Next one then is the Florigato from Paldea Evolved. Paldea Evolved is an absolutely great set. Holds the Magikarp, which everyone is after, which will have the same pull rates as this Florigato. But if you are opening Paldea Evolved and you get this Florigato, I think you should be pretty happy with it. The year to date started out as a $5 card. It shot up to a $13 card. It's now under 10, just. It's about $9.80 at the moment. So 72% rise over the course of the year, which for me is a very good return on your investment if you put in about $5 for more than one of these cards. I think it's also worth noting, look at the artwork. It is pretty good. And is that Kuki Saito, which I think is quite a popular artist also. There is the Sprigatito, which I actually did pull recently, which I think is very common, or very similar to this card, sorry. So I think the artwork is definitely something to not be missed, and definitely something to keep your eye on, especially this kind of artwork. I think it's just the bright colours and the actual detail that is in there. It looks like a Renaissance kind of nature painting, and you can see the sun shining on Florigato at the same time. The next card we're going to look at is the Reverum EX from Obsidian Flames. Obsidian Flames is starting to become much rarer to find in the shops, especially at retail price. The price of Obsidian Flames is starting to go up by quite a lot. You can see here, this may have been some market manipulation, where it shot up around February to over $5, and it's come right back down, but it not back to where it was in the year to date. Again, this is another card that started around $2, shot up to $5, went straight back down in the middle of the year. That summer period, cards always seem to have a dip, so if you're thinking about when do I buy singles, if I'm wanting to make some money, buy it in the summer period. That may be because getting to the winter period, people are buying it for Christmas, because it again has gone back up again. The notable thing about this card is that it is an SIR. And how often are you going to get an SIR for under $5 or even or under $10 even, maybe even under 20? It's going to be very rare. I know Reverum is not that popular a Pokemon, but regardless of whether it is a popular Pokemon or not, because it's an SIR, I think it is worth the buy. I think it's only going to go up by now because Obsidian Flames is becoming more rare. The next card we have is the Tangela from Scarlet and Violet 151. The main reason I put this card on here is because it is an illustration rare from 151. Tangela from the original 151 generation, from the first generation of Pokemon cards. Obviously, that's what 151 is for. If you were around back then, you will know Tangela very well. I like Tangela. I love the way that they're playing on the tree. It's almost like they're creating their own swing. But because it's from 151, I think it should be worth more. And a lot of the 151 cards, I think, at the minute are undervalued. So if you're looking at any cards that you think should probably go up, because of the price of 151 packs, 151 cards should be going up in the not too distant future. But again, it's been a little bit more erratic. From when 151 year to date, or this card year to date, was around $9, it's actually gone down 15%. So it had that spike again in February when there was a major popularity rise in Pokemon, just after Pokemon TCG Pocket. It then again went down in June to almost $5, and now it's around $7-8 a pack. Card, sorry, not pack. 151 is almost $20 a pack now, I assume. Hey, the next one, the Gardevoir, and I love this card from Paradox Rift. It just looks ridiculous. Look at all that junk, but look at the pretty colours, and look at how happy Gardevoir is to just be sitting up there. Paradox Rift, not the most popular set, has some cool stuff in it though, so definitely worth opening. It's becoming more popular, I think. Definitely wasn't popular when it first came out. So it was about a $5 card in the year to date, and if we look at the rest of the year, this seems to be a common trend. Around this time at Christmas, it shot up in price to a $12 card. If you sold it then, well done. But you can see here, when the spike starts, a ridiculous amount seem to have been sold. And ever since then, it has just steadily dropped over time. But the artwork, definitely worth a mention. Next card then is the Relicanth from Temporal Forces. Temporal Forces, similar to Paradox Rift, was not super popular when it came out. People aren't super keen on the temporal Pokemon from this era, but I like the Relicanth because it is a fairly rare Pokemon. I think it's quite rare to get in the game as well. I've never caught one anyway. There's similar trends to the last few cards, has had that spike, went down, and around summer it has remained quite steady. So there might be a time in the next month or two where it's going to shoot up in price again because of the Christmas period and the Christmas period spike. And you have some other Pokemon in here as well, so if you're collecting Shelders, you might want to pay attention to that. Can't tell what else is here, but it's pretty cool to see some other things on the artwork there. It's quite a dull colours, but I quite like that because I think it reflects Relicanth and its rarity. Next we have Timber, and I like this card because it is a working Pokemon card. And cards which are working, or Pokemon where they are working on the card, is quite a little bit of a niche. People seem to like it. There is the Machoke in 151, and there is the Steelix. I can't remember what set it's from, but they're both working cards and people like them because people like cards where the Pokemon is doing something. So if we look at the recent trends in the last year, it was barely a $1 card, shot up to almost $9, and it's still hovering around $5 at this period, and a 156% rise from the year to date. Probably a 300% rise if it was near the $9. So this one is from Twilight Masquerade. Some decent cards to get from that set also, although I don't really like the Ogerpon, and there's a lot of them in there. So the last card we're going to look at is the Okidogi from Shrouded Fable. People aren't super fond of Shrouded Fable, but I feel like because it was one of the sets that was available, people will have started buying it and started to think, you know what, I actually do quite like Shrouded Fable, so I'm going to start buying it, I'm going to start collecting it. I like it because it is a smaller set. People didn't like it because it's a smaller set, but if you're a set collector, which I'm not, but if I was, I would probably want to collect Shrouded Fable because it's probably one of the easier ones to collect. So I feel like it's quite a kid-friendly one because it's more accessible than a lot of other sets to collect. So this one, again, just over $5, had that big spike like every other card seemed to, shot down in the summer and is actually on the rise again. So if you're going to pick it up now, you're probably going to make a decent amount of money from it. And lastly, thanks for watching if you stayed for this whole video. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon content. And check out these videos here for more tips on collecting and investing in Pokemon. Thank you very much.